Well, who'd have thought it? I'm on the run from the law. Now, it's a funny old law, that law. I guess they're trying to, put me in hospital where I need the mental health care, for my ingrained delusions of persecution. Or they're trying to frame me with a crime that I've either admitted to or that they're going to frame me with to put me away, or I'm going to be incarcerated as a insane person. There's a slim chance at justice, which I'm hoping for, or there's death, that old chestnut. Now, it's a funny thing. A citizen needs certain things in society to be able to survive. And they need these things. They need some prosperity and income to participate with the other humans in the society. And they also need some equality before the law and some access before the law. And that really is an ethos that Australia is a signatory to, the Charter of Human Rights of the UN. And they need some civil liberties, and they also need some privacy, and they need some protection from violence, and they also need some protection from victimisation, protection from oppression, and they also need a reason to live. They need to enjoy their life. They need to have the freedom to do what they want and engage in society, do fun things, go to the movies, catch up with friends. They need those certain things. And as well as that, they need food and shelter and a place to be. And they need provisions such as electricity, water, gas, and all those normal things that make life so easy for a lot of people who are in an amazing amount of privilege. But sadly, me as a scapegoat, I don't get those things. So, the law, hey? So I'm in the way to Queensland, where I've got a bit of a deal with Pauline Hanson, please explain. And the laws are much more relaxed up there than in Victoria. So I've got to provide the evidence, and I need to take it to them. So I'm on the way, and I'm rocking and rolling. The oppression hasn't killed me yet, although if I died today, a report would have to be detailed for the coroner, which would expose the government tyranny and the conspiracy to pervert the course of justice, which victimises me, oppresses me, has robbed me financially, has maliciously redacted my prosperity over a couple of decades, more importantly in the last 5, and would of course expose my relationship with former ASIO agent Steve Icenides. Now, this is a real bit of a caveat that's holding me back, because even the Office of Prime Minister and Cabinet refused my freedom of information, which would have clearly exposed the relationship with Icenides, who exploited me over 5 years and drugged and raped me in 2010. He always said he'd kill me if I said anything about that, but he's going to kill me anyway. I've got those that evidence all ready to go. Now, apart from talking about criminality, like, I'm not really the criminal here. Like, I'm a doctor. I've been well-meaning my whole life. I've put others before myself, and I've served the country for 30 years on local, state, federal, even international levels. I've appeared in person at institutions, organisations, schools, community groups, and appeared on radio and television all over this country. And my good intentions have really always been there and very evident and on the forefront. And I've mostly done all that work out of altruism and not expect anything in return. And the level of deceit from Australia and authorities and the powers that be for the service I gave to the country is really quite palpable. I mean, it's brutal. Like, you don't get to be this type of a scapegoat without having pissed off some very powerful people, such as Icenides, such as Russell Ball. And it's really hard to get ahead. For example, my Centrelink emergency payment. Here we go. So I'm a brain damaged, chronically mentally ill, schizophrenic, ADHD, adjustment disorder, and I'm in poverty. I'm homeless. I've got no food, no money. I have no rights. I've got no access to the law, blah, yada, yada. But apparently, according to Centrelink, I don't qualify for an emergency payment. And that's a little bit of example of a government tyranny that's really oppressing me. Now, other agencies systemically, broadly across the Australian spectrum, detail me, for example, being banned at the Australian Financial Complaints Authority. And my documented human rights abuses are all there, but no one will sign off on it. Gee, I wonder why. The Australian Human Rights Commission refuses to intervene or investigate, and that's what they do. The National Anti-Corruption Commission, I waited 90 days for them to get back to my complaint, and they've given me the big fat computer says no. And this is a real problem, calling out corruption to an anti-corruption body who also corrupt. Now, I've never had a word back from my old mate, Mark Dreyfus, the Attorney General, and even Anthony Albanese himself knows of my systemic and prolonged abuse and financial victimisation and oppression, and he refused to meaningfully intervene. He did, though, send me to Mark Dreyfus's office, who still didn't respond or meaningfully intervene, and he's referred me to AGIS, the body to investigate ASIO, and the Commonwealth Ombudsman. But of course, it's a very difficult story for me because I'm a rejected whistleblower, despite being a former public official and the former spouse of a high-up-ranking government official, and the fact that I've been employed under a government contract, and the fact that I've got a federal court document stating that I was employed by the Department of Social Security. And that federal court document, even though it's a rejected PID, public interest disclosure, also says that my imminent health, wealth, safety, prosperity, and life are at risk. And they acknowledged that, and that was months ago. And hallelujah, I've been conspired against, I've been set up to fail, I've been kicked out of places. It's been a pretty much delightful story. At least life's never boring. As well as being a rejected whistleblower, I'm psychometrically profiled by the legal arena of the world, and I've never ever been able to get a lawyer. That's because I'm profiled by my name, my date of birth, my email, and the witty banter that goes around about me saying, "Don't help him. He's an extortionist, rapist, pedophile," whatever they want to use. And that one of the powerful lawyers is Mr. Russell Ball, who informs government policy and advises the Ombudsman. And of course, I'm a failed whistleblower of the Ombudsman, and the Ombudsman refuse all further communication, and they just won't even interact with me. So my problem is being excommunicated from the Australian government, but more so than that, it's infiltrated my inner circle. That means my beautiful family. Hi Jodie, hi Brad, hi Mum and Dad, hi Uncle Bruce. How's the steak? My family are privileged people, and I've been grateful for my parents' help when they've tried to help in the little way that they can. But that's not been helpful in stopping this oppression and creating a meaningful change to my human rights abuses and my justice. And as we know, a conspiracy relies on your most inner circle of people to be infiltrated and turned against the person who is the victim. And lo and behold, wouldn't you know it, my brother, Brad McLean, angry little man, and my sister, Jodie Bongetti, have absolutely, turned their back on me. And this is a problem for me because, it could be said that Tim Goss from AFCA has detailed my financial corruption. It could be said that Steve Icenides detailed my financial corruption, or the government who has his back. It could be said that Liz Linsberg from the Australian Human Rights Commission has detailed my destruction by colluding with a conspiracy that kicked $1 million deal to the opposition. Or it could be said that Sheena Jack from HCF has colluded too and caused my financial destruction by just flat out rejecting my income assist insurance. It could be said that member Pennell of the AAT wasn't impartial in his decision to reject my work cover, or that Kate Watson, a government lawyer defending the already no vote about my work cover from, what was his name? From Comcare, Paul Fowler. Paul Fowler rejected my work safe. Could be said all of those people were singularly responsible for the situation I'm in. It could be said that any one of those people in the long line of people of oppression that I've had has been responsible for my destruction. And the thing is that when so many people are involved, it becomes a conspiracy to pervert the course of justice. And a conspiracy to pervert the course of justice is a really serious issue. It relies on totally and utterly scapegoating the victim, and it relies on the victim staying silent. And I've opposed my victimisation and oppression and financial destruction for a long time. And now they're trying to vilify me with mental illness to the exclusion of all other factors in my life. Now, this is a pretty clever way of getting away with it. That is because if I died today from an elongated, sustained political oppression, and I actually had enough and killed myself, they'd blame mental illness and drugs, and they would cleverly exonerate themselves from all wrongdoing whatsoever. And it's the perfect crime. But speaking about crimes, if the police pulled me over today, they would search me up and down in about 30 seconds. I asked my freedom of information from police, and they said it would take over 9 months. Gee, isn't that rather difference in how fast you could look someone up? But I have extorted the NDIS for money because I was financially abused, and the government, who protects Steve Icenides, owed me the money. It was my money anyway, and it was meant for me, for my well-being. And I just invoiced the NDIS from Steve Icenides, not his, as Steve Icenides. He was my life coach. So basically, I used a clever way to get the money that the government already owed me from government money that was already mine. So in that way, now the NDIS have banned me from contacting them, and I'm a rejected whistleblower at the DSS and the NDIS. And there is enough money in my NDIS plan to actually pay for emergency accommodation or medium-term accommodation. But as per the government conspiracy goes, they're unwilling to release it. Even Bill Shorten himself won't intervene, because I actually said to him, "This is killing me, Bill. You're absolutely killing me with this abuse. Can you release me funds?" And instead of releasing the funds, he sent a big gang of cops. Can anyone smell the bacon? Or a pathetic public official who's doing the least in their day to get by. And he sent the pigs and put me into hospital. And lo and behold, I was held again as a political prisoner. And the cycle continues. Now, obviously, the hospital doesn't care for me because they've washed their hands of me. And I've called the community care teams today and asked for help. They said that I was with another service. But anyway, look, I've been to Triple R in the past week. I've been to the Asylum Seeker Resource Centre. I've been to lawyers. I've been to 3 libraries. I've been to shops. I've spoken to people in stores. I've accosted people on the street. I've asked my parents for help. There's no contacting my sister or brother. They're strangely silent. And Steve Icenides, well, whoever heard from him? He's orchestrating this destruction from afar. But if anyone wants to ring him, give a call to Steve Icenides, because he's enacting family violence on me. And coercive financial control, when you've been engaged to someone for 5 years, is never okay. And family violence is never okay, especially when you've been drugged and raped by the same man. And you can't tell police that, or you can't tell police any other corruption, because the police themselves are corrupt. So there's a few other things maybe I think they could probably arrest me for, but on the whole, I've been a pretty righteous citizen. I've worn my heart on my chest. I've shared my brave narratives. And, you know, you don't get to be a doctor of philosophy without critical thought, and you don't get to have a Human Rights Award and Sane Australia's Book of the Year and all those other things that I have received, such as a merit-based scholarship to do a doctorate. And come all this way with so much success and so much capacity to do stuff and just not ever get anywhere. Like, it's actually not a character flaw or weakness, this poverty that I'm experiencing. It's actually not even a crime to be poor. But the crime in the result of me being poor is a coordinated attack between many government agencies and many people and many lawyers and all politicians. Like, I've emailed every politician in the country, and everyone's not only ignored me, but they've pointedly neglected me. And politicians are under the Public Service Agreement, which says they're obliged to act ethically within the law in regards to human rights and all the charters that Australia is a signatory to. I'm not asking for much. All I'm asking for is a home for me and my dog with enough food and medicine. That's not really much to ask for, but those simple things, which should be a basic human right and are a basic human right, have been pointedly redacted from me in a conscious and malicious way, which has left me excommunicated from the government and excommunicated from society. So I live in hope. God's on my side, and God is my witness. I'll get through this. And as my toe touched the ground and the earth be my witness, I say to people who I've upset, I'm sorry. I really haven't meant to upset you. But the way the whole world has universally forsaken me has been very damaging to me. And I've lost just about everything. I miss my dog, who I live for, and I miss catching up with friends, beers, banter at the pub. You know, when politics and pregnancy are debated as we empty our glasses, don't we love those evening classes? I'd love a good debate with someone. And you know what? My PayID is below. So if you'd like to actually help out a victimised scapegoat and someone on the run from the authorities,